the Integrated Services Digital Broadcasting is a Japanese standard for digital television and digital radio used by a country's radio and television networks. ISDB replaced the previously used MUSE Hi-vision analog HDTV system. Digital terrestrial television broadcasting services using ISDB-T started in Japan in December 2003 and in Brazil in December 2007 as a trial. Since many countries have adopted ISDB over other digital broadcasting standards. Countries and territories using ISDB-T Asia Japan, Philippines, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Thailand. Americas Brazil, Uruguay, Peru, Argentina, Chile, Venezuela, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Paraguay, Bolivia, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Honduras, Belize. Africa Botswana. Introduction. ISDB is maintained by the Japanese organization ARIB. The standards can be obtained for free at the Japanese organization DBEG website and at ARIB. The core standards of ISDB are ISDB-S, ISDB-T, ISDB-C and 2.6 GHz band mobile broadcasting, which are all based on MPEG-2 or MPEG-4 standard for multiplexing with transport stream structure and video and audio coding, and are capable of high-definition television and standard-definition television. ISDB-T and ISDB-Tb are for mobile reception in TV bands. 1seg is the name of an ISDB-T service for reception on cell phones, laptop computers and vehicles. The concept was named for its similarity to ISDN, because both allow multiple channels of data to be transmitted together. This is also much like another digital radio system, Eureka 147, which calls each group of stations on a transmitter an ensemble. This is very much like the multi-channel digital TV standard DVB-T. ISDB-T operates on unused TV channels, an approach taken by other countries for TV but never before for radio. Transmission The various flavors of ISDB differ mainly in the modulations used, due to the requirements of different frequency bands. The 12 GHz band ISDB-S uses PSK modulation, 2.6 GHz band digital sound broadcasting uses CDM, and ISDB-T uses COFDM with PSK-QAM. Interaction Besides audio and video transmission, ISDB also defines data connections with the Internet as a return channel over several media etc. and with different protocols. This is used, for example, for interactive interfaces like data broadcasting and electronic program guides. Interfaces and encryption The ISDB specification describes a lot of interfaces, but most importantly the common interface for conditional access system. While ISDB has examples of implementing various kinds of cases, in Japan CAS called BCAS is used defines the common scrambling algorithm system called MULTI-2 required for scrambling television. The ISDB CAS system in Japan is operated by a company named BCAS. The CAS card is called BCAS card. The Japanese ISDB signal is always encrypted by the BCAS system even if it is a free television program. That is why it is commonly called pay-per-view system without charge. An interface for mobile reception is under consideration. ISDB supports RMP. Since all digital television systems carry digital data content, a DVD or high-definition recorder could easily copy content losslessly. Hollywood requested copy protection. This was the main reason for RMP being mandated. The content has three modes, a Euro e-copy own C Euro, a Euro e-copy for a Euro and a Euro e-copy never a Euro. In a Euro e-copy own C Euro mode, a program can be stored on a hard disk recorder, but cannot be further copied. Only move to another copy-protected media Euro, and this move operation will mark the content a Euro e-copy one generation a Euro, which is mandated to permanently prevent further copying. A Euro OE copy never a Euro programming may only be TME shifted and cannot be permanently stored. Currently, the Japanese government is evaluating using the Digital Transmission Content Protection Encryption plus non-assertion mechanism, to allow making multiple copies of digital content between compliant devices. Receiver. There are two types of ISDB receiver, television and set-top box. The aspect ratio of an ISDB receiving television set is 16:9. Televisions fulfilling these specs are called Hi-vision TV. There are three TV types: cathode ray tube, plasma display panel and liquid crystal display, with LCD being the most popular Hi-vision TV on the Japanese market nowadays. The cheapest 32-inch LCD is A27,800 yen and 22-inch for A17,970 yen for retail prices of November 2011. The LCD share as measured by JEITA in November 2004 was about 60%. While PDP sets occupy the high-end market with units that are over 50 inches, PDP and CRT set shares are about 20% each. CRT sets are considered low-end for Hi-vision. An SDB is sometimes referred to as a digital tuner. Typical middle to high-end ISDB receivers marketed in Japan have several interfaces: F connectors for RF input, HDMI or D4 connector for HDTV, a monitor in home cinema, optical digital audio interface for an audio amplifier and speakers for 5.1 surround audio in a home cinema, IEEE 1394 interface for digital data recorders in a home cinema. RCA video jack provides SDTV signal that is sampled down from the HDTV signal for analog CRT television sets or VCRs. RCA audio jacks provide stereo audio for analog CRT television sets or VCRs. S-video is for VCRs or analog CRT television sets. 10 base T/100 base T and modular jack telephone line modem interfaces are for an internet connection. BCAS card interface to descramble. IR interface jack for controlling a VHS or DVD player. Copy protection technology. All TV broadcasters in Japan is encrypted with copy once, which allows users to record to a digital medium but does not allow dubbing to another digital medium. On the other hand, the copy once technology does not prohibit all types of dubbing. It is possible to dub to an analog medium, and if recorded to an HDD, it will allow users to move the contents to a DVHS, but not copy. In contrast, 1-seg digital broadcasts which offer low bandwidth mobile reception and occupy January 13th of a digital channel, are transmitted in the clear and do not carry copy protection information. Many users are also very worried about the recent use of severe protection in the future. There are modes in ISDB that do not allow the output of signal from an analog connector. There are already plans to not allow analog output for copyright protection reasons. This will make all currently sold SDB tuners, and the majority of LCD plasma TVs without HDMI inputs unusable. Plus all analog VHS, DVHS that can only record via analog input, and all DVD players will also become unusable. These more limiting copy protection technologies will all start after analog broadcasting ends. Currently, no financial assistance schemes have been announced, and viewers without proper devices will be forced to buy a new compatible TV or set-top box in order to view ISDB broadcasts. Though not clear, it is said that there are also plans to protect all programs with copy never. The copy protection on ISDB broadcasts can be circumvented with the proper hardware and software. Brazilian standard ISDB-Tb does not implement this copy protection mechanism. For other countries, there are some examples of implementing CAS system by the operator's choice. BCAS card equals, the BCAS card is required to decode all broadcasts in Japan. These cards are included with every digital TV or tuner at no charge. To use this card, the end user must agree to the statement written on the registration card. Despite the fact that the card must be inserted to watch TV, if the end user refuses to accept the terms/conditions contained within the statement, the user cannot watch digital broadcasts. Essentially, users are forced to agree with the statement. Though registration is not required, It is recommended to fully enjoy interactive programs. Unregistered BCAS card displays a watermark in a corner of the screen, suggesting the user to register. However, many viewers worry about the leaking of personal information, and the power rights the TV stations have to access personal information for almost every citizen in Japan. In case of loss or destruction, new BCAS card of the same number can be issued for a fee of 2,000 yen. Services. Typical Japanese broadcast service consists as follows: 1 HDTV or up to 3 SDTV services within one channel. Provides data broadcasting. Interactive services such as games or shopping, via telephone line or broadband internet. Equipped with an electronic program guide. Ability to send firmware patches for the TV tuner over the air. There are examples providing more than 10 HDTV services with H264 coding in some countries. ISDB-S. History Japan started digital broadcasting using the DVB-S standard by Perfectv in October 1996, and DirectV in December 1997, with communication satellites. Still, DVB-S did not satisfy the requirements of Japanese broadcasters, such as NHK, key commercial broadcasting stations like Nippon Television, TBS, Fuji Television, TV Asahi, TV Tokyo, and WOWOW. Consequently, ARIB developed the ISDB-S standards. The requirements were HDTV capability, interactive services, network access and effective frequency utilization, and other technical requirements. The DVB-S standard allows the transmission of a bit stream of roughly 34 bits with a satellite transponder, which means the transponder can send one HDTV channel. Unfortunately, the NHK broadcasting satellite had only 4 vacant transponders, which led ARIB and NHK to develop ISDB-S. The new standard could transmit at 51 bits with a single transponder, which means that ISDB-S is 1.5 times more efficient than DVB-S and that one transponder can transmit 2 HDTV channels, along with other independent audio and data. Digital satellite broadcasting was started by NHK and followed commercial broadcasting stations on December 1, 2000. Today, Sky Perfect, successor of Skyport TV, and Sky D, CS Burn, Platon, EP, Direct, J Sky B, and Perfect, adopted the ISDB-S system for use on the 110-degree wideband communication satellite. Technical specification This table shows the summary of ISDB-S. Channel frequency and channel specification of Japanese satellites using ISDB-S. ISDB-T history HDTV was invented at NHK Science and Technology Research Laboratories. The research for HDTV started as early as the 1960s, though a standard was proposed to the ITU only in 1973. By the 1980s, a high-definition television camera, cathode ray tube, videotape recorder and editing equipment, among others, had been developed. In 1982 NHK developed MUSE, the first HDTV video compression and transmission system. MUSE used digital video compression, but for transmission frequency modulation was used after a digital to analog converter converted the digital signal. In 1987, NHK demonstrated MUSE in Washington, D.C. and NAB. The demonstration made a great impression in the U.S. As a result, the U.S. developed its own ATSC terrestrial DTV system. Europe also developed their own DTV system called DVB. Japan began an D of a completely digital system in the 1980s that led to ISDB. Japan began terrestrial digital broadcasting, using ISDB-T standard by NHK and commercial broadcasting stations, on December 1, 2003. Feature ISDB-T is characterized by the following features. ISDB-T in Japan use UHF 470 MHz-770 MHz, bandwidth of 300 MHz, allocate 50 channels, namely CH13 CH62, each channel is 6 MHz width. These channels are called physical channel, C per mil 1 a florin C florin cubed a florin. For other countries, US channel table or European channel table are used. For channel tables with 6 MHz width, ISDB-T single channel bandwidth 5.572 MHz has number of carriers 5617 with interval of 0.99206 kHz. For 7 MHz channel bandwidth is 6.50 MHz. For 8 MHz 7.42 MHz. ISDB-T allows to accommodate any combination of HDTV and SDTV within the given bit rate determined by the transmission parameters such as bandwidth, code rate, guard interval, etc. Typically, among the 13 segments, the center segment is used for 1 seg with QPSK modulation and the remaining 12 segments for the HDTV or SDTV payloads for 64 QAM modulation. The bit stream of the 12 segments are combined into one transport stream, within which any combination of programs can be carried based on the MPEG-2 transport stream definition. ISDB-T transmits a HDTV channel and a mobile TV channel 1 seg within one channel. 1 seg is a mobile terrestrial digital audio-video broadcasting service in Japan. Although 1 seg is designed for mobile usage, reception is sometimes problematic in moving vehicles. Because of reception on high-speed vehicle, UHF transmission is shaded by buildings and hills frequently, but reported well receiving in Shinkansen as far as run-in flat or rural area. ISDB-T provides interactive services with data broadcasting, such as electronic program guides. ISDB-T supports Internet access as a return channel that works to support the data broadcasting. Internet access is also provided on mobile phones. ISDB-T provides single-frequency network and on-channel repeater technology. SFN makes efficient utilization of the frequency resource. For example, the Kanto area are covered with SFN with roughly 10 million population coverage. ISDB-T can be received indoors with a simple indoor antenna. ISDB-T provides robustness to multipath interference, co-channel analog television interference, and electromagnetic interferences that come from motor vehicles and power lines in urban environments. ISDB-T is claimed to allow HDTV to be received on moving vehicles at over 100 km per hour. DVB-T can only receive SDTV on moving vehicles, and it is claimed that ATSC cannot be received on moving vehicles at all. Adoption ISDB-T was adopted for commercial transmissions in Japan in December 2003. It currently comprises a market of about 100 million television sets. ISDB-T had 10 million subscribers by the end of April 2005. Along with the wide use of ISDB-T, the price of receivers is getting low. The price of ISDB-T/STB in the lower end of the market is 19,800 yen as of April 19, 2006. By November 2007 only a few older, low-end STB models could be found in the Japanese market, showing a tendency towards replacement by mid to high-end equipment like PVRs and TV sets with inbuilt tuners. In November 2009, a retail chain Eon introduced STB in $40, followed by a variety of low-cost tuners. The DIBG webpage confirms this tendency by showing low significance of the digital tuner STB markets in Japan. Brazil, which currently uses an analog TV system that slightly differs from any other countries, has chosen ISDB-T as a base for its DTV format, calling it ISDB-Tb or internally SBTVD. The Japanese debate group incorporated the advancements made by Brazil MPEG-4 video codec instead of ISDB-T's MPEG-2 and a powerful interaction middleware called Ginga and has renamed the standard to ISDB-T International. Other than Argentina, Brazil, Peru, Chile and Ecuador which have already selected ISDB-Tb, there are other South American countries, mainly from Mercosur, such as Venezuela, that are considering ISDB-Tb, which could provide economies of scale and common market benefits from the regional South American manufacturing instead of importing ready-made STBs as is the case with the other standards. Also, It has been confirmed with extensive tests realized by Brazilian Association of Radio and Television Broadcasters, Brazilian Television Engineering Society and Universidade Presbiteriana Mackenzie. The insufficient quality for indoor reception presented by ATSC and, between ISDB-T and ISDB-T, the latter presented superior performance in indoor reception and flexibility to access digital services and TV programs through non-mobile, mobile or portable receivers with impressive quality. The Abita Euroset Group in Brazil did system comparison tests of DTV under the supervision of the CPQD Foundation. The comparison tests were done under the direction of a work group of SET and ABET. The ABET SET group selected ISDB-T as the best choice in digital broadcasting modulation systems among ATSC, DVB-T and ISDB-T. Another study found that ISDB-T and DVB-T performed similarly, and that both were outperformed by DVB-T2. ISDB-T was singled out as the most flexible of all for meeting the needs of mobility and portability. It is most efficient for mobile and portable reception. On June 29, 2006, Brazil announced ISDB-T-based SBTVD as the chosen standard for digital TV transmissions, to be fully implemented by 2016. By November 2007, a few suppliers started to announce Zapper STBs of the new Nippon-Brazilian SBTVD-T standard, at that time without interactivity. The implementation rollout in Brazil is proceeding successfully, although some voice like Philips say that its implementation could be faster. In terms of broadcasting, the implementation plan seems to be on target. In only 8 months since the start, the digital signal is present in 4 state capitals, and by the end of 2008 another 3 capitals will receive the signal. In terms of end customers, the implementation could be better, since at the moment it is estimated only 20,000 set-top boxes have been sold. Part of this low sales number can be explained by the prices that in the beginning ranged from 600 Brazilian reals to 1,100 Brazilian reals. However, recently new set-top boxes were launched in market at $300 that will probably increase set-top box sales. Another reason to explain low sales level is the interactivity service not available yet. That is because the middleware developed by Brazilian universities was finished in October 2008. It is expected the interactivity will be a strong appeal, bringing more and more people to digital TV world. Additionally, mobile TV started successfully with the launch of Samsung and Toshiba cell phones with ISDB-T 1seg tuners. Its main appeal is that the service is free. That is a very impressive accomplishment in a short period since Brazil launched its digital mobile TV for free. In other countries such accomplishment occurred years later, and in others like the US and Europe this is far from reality and probably won't be for free. Subscription mobile TV in Germany using DVB-H has been dubbed a failure. In Italy the cost of receiving mobile TV over DVB-H costs the user a $9.90 per month just for the basic channel package. Adoption by country, this lists the countries who adopted the ISDB-T standard, chronologically arranged. On April 23, 2009, Peru announced its decision to adopt ISDB-T as the digital terrestrial television standard. This decision was taken on the basis of the recommendations by the Multi-Sectional Commission to assess the most appropriate standard for the country. On August 28, 2009, Argentina officially adopted the ISDB-T system, calling it internally SATVD-T. On September 14, 2009, Chile announced it was adopting the ISDB-T standard because it adapts better to the geographical makeup of the country, while allowing signal reception in cell phones, high-definition content delivery and a wider variety of channels. On October 6, 2009, Venezuela officially adopted the ISDB-T standard. On March 26, 2010, Ecuador announced its decision to adopt ISDB-T standard. This decision was taken on the basis of the recommendations by the Superintendent of Telecommunications. On April 29, 2010, Costa Rica officially announced the adoption of ISDB-Tb standard based upon a commission in charge of analyzing which protocol to accept. On June 1, 2010, Paraguay officially adopted ISDB-T International, via Presidential Decree No. 4483. On June 11, 2010, the National Telecommunications Commission of the Philippines officially adopted the ISDB-T standard. On July 6, 2010, Bolivia announced its decision to adopt ISDB-T standard as well. On December 27, 2010, the Uruguayan government adopts ISDB-T standard, voiding a previous 2007 decree which adopted the European DVB system. On November 15, 2011, the Maldivian government adopts ISDB-T standard. As the first country in the region that used European channel table and one-channel bandwidth as 8 MHz. On May 20, 2014, Government of Sri Lanka officially announced its decision to adopt ISDB-T standard, and on 7 September 2014 Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe signed an agreement with Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa for constructing infrastructure such as ISDB-T networks with a view to smooth conversion to ISDB-T, and cooperating in the field of content and developing human resources. Technical specification segment structure. ARIB has developed a segment structure called BSTOFDM. ISDB-T divides the frequency band of one channel into 13 segments. The broadcaster can select which combination of segments to use. This choice of segment structure allows for service flexibility. For example, ISDB-T can transmit both LDTV and HDTV using one TV channel or change to 3 SDTV, a switch that can be performed at any time. ISDB-T can also change the modulation scheme at the same time. The above figure showed the spectrum of 13-segment structure of ISDB-T. SO is generally used for one seg, S1 S12 are used for one HDTV or 3 SDTVs. Summary of ISDB-T. H264 baseline profile is used in one-segment broadcasting for portables and mobile phone. H264 high profile is used in ISDB-Tb to high-definition broadcasts. Channel specification of Japanese terrestrial digital broadcasting using ISDB-T. 2.6 GHz mobile satellite digital audio-video broadcasting, MUSE is the name of the services that uses the mobile satellite digital audio broadcasting specifications. MUSE started its service on October 20, 2004. Ended in March 31, 2009. ISDB-Tb. ISDB-Tb is the terrestrial digital sound broadcasting specification. The technical specification is the same as ISDB-T. ISDB-Tb supports the coded transmission of OFDM signals. ISDB-C. ISDB-C is cable digital broadcasting specification. The technical specification is developed by JCTEA. ISDB-Tmm. ISDB-Tmm will use suitable number of segments by station with video coding MPEG-4AVCH264. With multiple channel, ISDB-Tmm will serve for dedicating contents such as sport, movie, music channel and other with CD quality sound. This service uses the VHF band, 207.5 222 MHz, which is used after the switch over to digital television in July 2011. Japanese Ministry licensed to MMBI, Incorporated or Multimedia Broadcasting, Incorporated for ISDB-Tmm method on September 9, 2010. The media flow method offered with KDDI was not licensed. The ISDB-Tmm broadcasting service by MMBI, Incorporated is named a Florin AM Florin a Florin C to the first, literally short form of mobile casting on July 14, 2011, announced the new broadcasting station is named NOTTV on October 4, 2011, and approved the operation by Minister of Internal Affairs and Communications on October 13, 2011. Planning the service with monthly subscription fee of 420 yen for South Kanto Plain, Aki, Osaka, Kyoto and some other prefectures from April 1, 2012. The deployment plan is to cover approximately 73% of household by end of 2012, approximately 91% by end of 2014, and 125 stations or repeater will be installed in 2016 to cover cities nationwide. Smartphone and tablet computer with receiving capability is also available in March and April as the initiative terminals on the market. Standards: ARIB and JCTEA developed the following standards. Some part of standards are located on the pages of ITU and ITU-T. Table of terrestrial HDTV transmission systems. See also, General Category, DBEG, the Digital Broadcasting Experts Group, Digital Television, Digital Terrestrial Television, Digital Audio Broadcasting, DMB, 1SEG, BCAS, Data Broadcasting, SDTV, EDTV, HDTV, ISDB-T International, Brazilian Digital Television System based on ISDB-T, Tokyo Skytree, ISDB-T Broadcasting for Kanto Plane, Transmission Technology, ATSC Standards, Advanced Television Systems Committee Standard, DMB-T, Digital Multimedia Broadcast Terrestrial, DVB-T, Digital Video Broadcasting Terrestrial, MPEG, Single Frequency Network, Multi-Frequency Network. References. External links. Welcome to ISDB-T official website. Digital Broadcasting Experts Group, ISDB-T International website. Outline of the specification for ISDB-NHK, the ISDB-T system ITU, comparison test results in Brazil, clear superiority of the ISDB-T system NHK, Digital Television Laboratory and Field Test Results, Brazil ITU, ISDB-T, Japanese Digital Terrestrial Television Broadcasting, Asian Institute of Technology, Final Report of the Digital Terrestrial Television Peruvian Commission, Digital Broadcasting, the Launching by Country Digital Broadcasting Experts Group, ISDB-C, Cable Television Transmission for Digital Broadcasting in Japan NHK, ISDB-S, Satellite Transmission System for Advanced Multimedia Services provided by Integrated Services Digital Broadcasting NHK, the Association for Promotion of Digital Broadcasting, ISDB-T, Digital Terrestrial Television Data Broadcasting in Japan NHK. Switching on to ISDB-T Digital Highlighting Japan September 2010, ISDB-T-MM, Introducing ISDB-T-MM Mobile Multimedia Broadcasting System, ITU, Deployment of Mobile Multimedia Broadcasting based on ISDB-T-MM technology in Japan, ITU, May 23, 2011.